10 greatest U.S. champions of all time.
Let's talk about that.
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to part 3 of Let's Talk About That, as we talk about the 10 greatest U.S. champions of all time. And do we agree?
Do we agree?
Do we agree? We're going to go over this list of 10, the top 10, in order of how many titles they held. So, and let's start off at number 10 with MVP. He only held the title twice. He won it first from Chris Benoit, and his last United States title he won from Shelton Benjamin. Do you agree that should he be on this list?
In the top 10 of U.S. champions? Probably not.
No.
No.
MVP didn't show me enough. I mean, yes, he beat Benoit before Benoit went back crap crazy. And
True.
Shelton Benjamin's a great athlete. I wish Shelton Benjamin was back. I think Shelton Benjamin would be great if he was in NXT right now.
That's true.
But we don't need all the old
Bell just
fogies in
rang.
NXT.
The bell just
We
rang.
need, and I bet you that's what we thought.
Yep.
Alrighty.
We ain't stupid.
Nope, and if I knew it ahead of time, it would have been our predictions. But Sasha Banks just beat Becky in the free-for-all, or the pre-show, whatever the hell they're calling it now. Up next on the list is number 9 is Greg the Hammer Valentine. He held the United States title 3 times.
Three
Yes.
times.
He won his first United States Championship from the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Woo! And he won his last one from Roddy Piper.
Rowdy.
Do you agree?
Did you just say, do I agree?
Do you agree?
Do I agree?
Do you agree? Does he agree? Does the Greg
Could
Valentine,
Greg Valentine go in the top 10
does
of
he
U.S.
lead in the
champions?
U.S. champion list?
Now, is it of course this is encompassing from the time it was in the NWA all the way till now.
Yeah.
So, because nowadays the title means nothing.
It doesn't.
So Greg Valentine, I could see him going in the top 10 of U.S. champion.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you think about, I don't know if the U.S. title was around either one of them at the time, but you think about Greg Valentine and Roddy Piper, what do you think about it?
Oh,
The
dog
dog collar
match. And I think it was not for the title. I think it was just a dog collar match.
Right, but I mean, it's probably around that time.
Yes.
Around that time. But anyway, I mean, just off of that alone, and him winning it from Piper at some point, that shows right there. I mean, that they put a lot of stock into him back then. So I mean, I could see him being in the top 10.
And I say they're going by how many reigns they've had. You know that the person who had the most reigns is going to be the number 1 on the list. But there's some people I've seen on this list who held the title once, like Tully Blanchard. I believe Tully Blanchard should be on the list more than MVP.
Now he had the TV title more than anything, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was also United States champion.
Yeah. So if you put him in a TV title,
But
top
I get,
10,
but there probably people more are looking at Tully Blanchard as Tully and Arn, the tag team champions, more than anything else. They know him the TV title or the United States championship.
But I mean, this is confusing here because number 10 had it 2 times, number 9 had it 3 times, and number 8 has it 2 times.
But look who it is. And that's what it follows it
Maybe
is.
that's how they fell on that one. Because see, you got 4, 5, 4. See, so I
Yeah.
guess that's who it is. So number 8 is Sting. He only had it twice. His first one was in a tournament finals against stunning Steve Austin. His last U.S. championship reign, he won it from Ming in a tournament finals.
So, I mean, I would have guessed Sting would have had it more.
Yeah.
You would have said, hey, pick a number. 2, 3, 4, 5. I would have leaned more toward 4 or 5 for Sting on title reigns. But 2 times, I mean, he was more in the world title than he was when he was around, you know.
Right. So I would probably put him in a, of course, top 10 WCW champions.
Yeah.
Maybe not U.S. champion.
No.
Next is number 7 at Roddy Piper at 3 times.
3 times.
3 times. He won the first one against Ric Flair, and he won his last one against Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yes.
Which was towards the end of his career.
Both
in
of their
WCW.
careers.
Yes. Because that was in WCW. Because he beat Bret Hart for the
Yes.
Yes, for the Intercontinental title, he beat Bret for it.
His only title he ever held in the WWE.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
And you can't, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Because my legs will be shredded.
It's true.
But Piper, I would put Piper up higher on this list. 7 is pretty low. I mean, I see him beating Flair is a good thing for his first one. But him and Bret,
at that stage, not really that big of a deal.
WCW just gave Bret the title to give Bret a title.
Yep.
And Piper, I don't know, were they doing it Piper just because he just come back to the company? So let's just give him a title? I mean,
I'd like to see who his other win was from. That'd be nice if they would have put all their wins.
Yeah.
Next we have Ricky the Dragon Steamboat at number 6. 4 different times. The first one was Ric Flair, and the last one was Stunning Steve Austin, because that was around the time he was feuding with Steve Austin, and him and Steve had a match, and during that match he got injured. And it was a career-ending injury until, of course, later on when he fought Jericho.
But Steamboat.
Steamboat, I could see this. I could definitely see this because
Steamboat belongs in the top 10. Steamboat, a great wrestler, great athlete, but when you think of Steamboat, I always think of second-tier title champion.
unfortunately,
Yes.
because they couldn't pull the trigger with him in the WWE.
He was
because of
given the
Hogan.
chance. He was given the chance in WCW, NWA, but he was never ever given the chance in WWE.
Well, because Hogan was ruling
Yes.
that. He was the
There
number
were
one
so many
face.
people that should have got the belt. Rude, Jake Roberts, Steamboat. Just name 3 right there.
Right.
How about you think Steamboat Savage Intercontinental title at WrestleMania? Think about Steamboat Savage World title at WrestleMania.
Right.
How great a match would that have been? Could they have topped their Intercontinental title match? But Vince being in Hogan's ear and Hogan being in Vince's ear is like, it's my way or the highway, and he agreed with him, which is stupid. It's a new day.
Pay-per-view ain't even started yet.
We're not talking. Let's go now. Next is Bret the Hitman Hart, a 5-time United States champion, counting NWA, WCW, and WWE. So
The first one was DDP,
WCW.
and his last one was The Miz.
That's like with Bret and Hart. It's a gimme. It's a give me a title, so I can have the title in WWE.
And that was probably for a cup of coffee,
Yeah.
because he couldn't wrestle back then.
Couldn't wrestle? No, definitely not.
So it was probably a weird circumstance how he won it, and a crazy circumstance how he was able to lose it.
Yeah, he might have gave it up. You know, beat Miz and give the title up. Because I don't think he ever lost the title. I think he gave it up.
Because, I mean, with his stroke and everything, he couldn't wrestle. That's why they had to do a street fight thing with him and Vince at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
One
strange.
of the great matches.
Oh, Lord. That's a little bit strange right there with the last one.
But yes, he had 5 reigns. That puts him high on the list because, like I said, they go with more reigns. But definitely, even though he had 5 title reigns, Bret Hart does not belong on of the greatest United States champions.
No. Now, this next one I definitely believe does.
Yeah.
Number 4 is Booker T at 4 different times. His first one was Rick Steiner, and his last one he beat Chris Benoit. Booker T, he's such an interesting one because when you think of him, yes, they say 5 time, but
She's actually 6 now.
it is because of the world title on SmackDown. But anyway,
Yeah.
But here's the thing about that. You got to think about he was tag team champion dozens of times. He was TV champion, U.S. champion,
Yep.
and World Heavyweight champion. He
Yeah.
was one of those Grand Slam champions for WCW. And when you think about him, you don't just think, to me, I don't just think WCW World Heavyweight champion. You could really honestly think, okay, tag team specialist, lower tier championship, mid-card championship, and the higher championship. So that in itself puts him in the top 10
Yes.
for the U.S. championship right
Yeah, he
there.
belongs in the top 5. Booker T belongs in the top 5 of the greatest United States champions of all time. I mean, champions overall.
Yes.
Because he's done it in WCW. He's done it in WWE. He has broke through the glass ceiling in both organizations.
And I mean, the same thing with the WCW championship. If you put a top 10 of WCW champions, I'm not talking about, well, let's go back to Luthez and Frank
Yeah.
Gotch. I'm not talking about all that. I'm talking about WCW champions. Booker T would be in the top 10 of WCW champions.
I think he'd be in the top 5 of WCW
There
champions.
you go. you know, that's just, and I mean, look at the TV championship. If you listed all the TV champions, he'd be in the top 10 of that as well.
Yes.
Because he really represented that belt well, and I really wish that they would keep a TV title around, but they don't even know how to use the Intercontinental or US, so they would just ruin that belt too.
Unless they did NXT.
That's true. The number 3.
And I wish Hunter would do that. I wish somebody would put that bug in his ear, and they would do a TV title, NXT TV champion. I mean, all the talent they have down in NXT, I mean, it wouldn't go to waste.
And it would be a little bit, you could make it a throwback kind of title because you do a time limit. You do a 15-minute time limit for the championship matches. And, you know, you do it. I mean, they did so many time limit draws on that.
Yes.
Because you get more and more matches out of it because of the time limit draws.
And then at the pay-per-view or special event, you take it out.
You have no time limit.
No time
On TV, there's always a time limit. On pay-per-view, you can take the time limit off and make it a little more special.
Yes.
Number 3 is Lex Luger at 5 times. His first one was
Nikita Koloff.
Nikita Koloff. I always say the wrong names. And the last one was Bret the Hitman.
And Brett, he must have taken it from Brett.
After
No,
Bret.
Piper took it from Brett, so I don't know when Luger took it from Brett. Jeez.
It's weird.
That is weird. Brett was... So 2 of Brett's was... Oh my goodness. Okay.
He lost it one time to Piper and one time to
Now Luger,
we do know that.
Luger, yes, Luger is another one. World Championship material, not. Had a body of a world champion,
Yes.
yes. Vince loved it. He thought he would have, but he did all the pushing and then said no.
He realized that
I mean, you go all that way.
he
I mean,
realized
even,
he wasn't going to be another Hogan.
but you would think you would still pull the chain and give him a little
force feed.
and give him a little small run.
Yeah.
I mean, you do all that stuff. You slam the elbows and everything, but they never pull the trigger. U.S. champion, yes. Luger is one of the best U.S. champions. Top 10, be more toward the top 10, if not 11 or 12. It all depends. But in the heyday, when he first started, when he come in with a Horseman, yes, he was the top specimen, U.S. States champion. He looked good because he had J.J. Dillon and Ric Flair pretty much in his ear with Arn and Ole and all of them, you know, everybody there.
They're basically
And
helping
Tully.
him in that he had that role with the Four Horsemen, kind of like, and I know this is a bad comparison, but they're both football players. He had the same type role as Steve Mogul with Michaels.
Yeah.
They both weren't very good wrestlers, but they surrounded them with really good wrestlers to kind of cover up the
But
the faults.
Luger is a lot better than Steve.
Amen.
Him and his stupid dog.
Number 2 is John Cena at 5 times as well. His first one was against Big Show, WrestleMania 20. Go check out WrestleMania 20. Very good opening matchup, by the way, for them two. And then the last one he won against Seth Rollins. And I will say this, yes, he does deserve to be, even though he's mainly WWE champion all the time, he does deserve to be in the top 10 of the U.S. champions because, in my opinion, I mean, yes, he did change the belt and have the spinner on it, and that is retarded.
But he did when he got it back. He did not.
That's true. But I will say this. Throughout his 5 times, especially back in the day on SmackDown and stuff, the U.S. title meant something.
Yes.
And when it didn't mean anything, and he got it from Seth and everything, and they did that whole spiel with the whole, what do you call it?
Open challenge.
Open challenges.
Yes.
I felt that it made it mean more.
Oh yeah, I did
So
too.
I believe that on those counts alone right there, he does deserve to be in the top 10 of the U.S. Championship.
But not in the top 5.
No.
Sorry.
Number 1, this person you would automatically
Six
think
times
6 times.
United States champion.
You would automatically think World Heavyweight Championship.
Of course.
Top 2 in the WCW World Champion. Top 10 or top 5 World Champions. Period. But this one, 6 times. He first won it from Bobo Brazil.
His first championship
That just
against Bobo
means
Brazil.
that was a long time ago.
It was.
And the last time he won the U.S. Championship was against Conan.
And why was Conan?
Why was Conan the U.S.
Why was
champion?
Conan US?
They really like Conan.
They do.
It was a long span of time with those
There was.
6 championships.
There was a lot of world titles in between those
Yes,
6.
it was, because, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about Mr. Nature Boy himself. Woo! Ric Flair.
Because I think Bobo Brazil, it was in the mid to late 70s.
Yes.
And Conan's had to be
Mid-90s.
mid-90s. So we got to look at the big span there.
Yep, but I mean, back in the day now, when he had the U.S. Championship, he would go out there and him and Ric Flair and Eddie Guerrero would tear it up.
Yeah.
even at his age, he was still tearing it up with Eddie Guerrero and stuff. I actually was listening to a podcast with Ric Flair, and Ric Flair was talking about how Brutus Beefcake came up to him because he had a, yeah, man, I'm telling you. And I could see where Ric Flair would be pissed off about this. He went out there, Kevin Sullivan told him, go just destroy, just destroy the match. Him and Eddie, he said, go have a great match. And so him and Eddie had a great match. He comes back there, he's talking to Kevin Sullivan, and Brutus Beefcake comes up and says, what are you doing? You got Hogan this Sunday, you made Eddie look way too good. And he was like, look here, you little SOB.
Woo!
He was told to do his job, and because here's my thing. If he made Eddie look like $1 million in that match, when Hogan, if he beat Eddie, okay, in this matchup, but he made Eddie look like $1 million, then he goes and loses to Hogan on a Sunday pay-per-view, how much better does that make Eddie look? Yes, Eddie might not have beat Flair, but he still looked good in losing to him. And some people, like old school mentality like that, don't get that.
No, there's a lot. Vince McMahon has lost it for some reason.
Yes. But yeah, I do believe that Ric Flair would be in the top 10 of the U.S. Championship.
Yes.
But that is going to be it for part number 3.
Let's talk about that.
Let's
We did talk about that.
We did talk about that. In part 4, the list that does not miss.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you already right now what part 3 next week's gonna be. It's all gonna be about the Toppy.
The Toppy!
The Toppy is back because next week will be our big year ender.
There you go. I forgot about that.
Big year ender. As we head into
So part 3 will
take
be
our Christmas break.
So you're saying part 3 will be all the Toppy awards?
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
We're splitting them up all during every part. But top 3 will be only Toppies. Because I think we have 32 Toppies to give.
Woo-wee! That's a lot of Toppies.
That's a lot of Toppies.
My goodness. But part 4 of the list that does not miss as TLC starts right now. Top Rope Reality Story Time with Justin Cotta booking the NWO style takeover of NXT. Plus Top Rope Reality Federation, our own federation.
We finally got to our own federation.
Our own federation. We are rebooking Survivor Series 1987 with our federation in that pay-per-view, ladies and gentlemen. Plus, we grade champions this week. We look at NWA champions from May of 1990.
We grade the champions of the May of 1990.
And then 10 shocking WWE superstar firings. No one saw coming, number 9. So you got to come and find out who shocking number 9 is because it's very shocking.
It's very shocking.
It came out of nowhere.
Last week's JR. Who was number 9?
Who's number 9? So come back and watch us on part 4, The List.
That does not miss. I'm Mike Hogan.
And I'm just a guy.
We'll see each and one of you in a few clicks. New Sean. Jeez, New Sean!
We got a new shit.